everyone, it's Miles Comics. It's another beautiful Wednesday, which means, of course, it's another glorious new comic book day. This new comic book day in particular is rather sentimental for me because one of my favorite series of all time, Exquisite Corpses, is getting its last issue today. That's right, we're seeing the end of the tournament today, and we are going to see who's going to be the future leader of America in the Exquisite Corpses universe. I'm super excited, but I'm already also mourning it. But I'm not mourning it as much as I would some other series because I know we're getting some off branches of the original series in the future, just like Rascal Randy, which I'm super excited for, which I'm pretty sure is coming out in either August or September. Other than that, we have a bunch of amazing single issues coming out this week, such as Absolute Wonder Woman issue 20, which is the second Absolute title to hit that milestone. I am super excited to pick it up because it is the conclusion of the Zatanna arc, which has been phenomenal so far, so I cannot wait to read it. And we also have the second issue of Zatanna, Corpse Knight, and Fireborn, which had all phenomenal first issues. So overall, it's just a great new comic book day. But other than new comics releasing this week, I am also planning to take an extensive look at the new comics that my local comic shop put in their back issues. The last time I looked at it in the previous video that I released, go watch it if you haven't already. It was a $1 discount video and I got a bunch of great comics for a great price. Nonetheless, the last time I looked at that back issues catalog, I saw a bunch of Grails of mine, and I can't wait to take a look again and maybe pick up a few bangers. I also just want to take some time to acknowledge the fact that my account on YouTube is almost at 100 subscribers. I know it's redundant to the fact that I keep on saying this, but I am truly grateful for each and every one of you who support my videos each time I upload. It's truly incredible and amazing to see, and I honestly can't believe it, kind of. And I just can't wait to see how this channel develops in the future. You guys honestly have no idea the amount of influence you guys have on the videos I release, because your support and general questions just keeps on fueling the engine that produces these videos. And just like every other new comic book day, I of course want to highlight the top 3 pulls of last week. Last week was a huge week for new release single issues for me, and there was of course a bunch of great pulls. I think the most obvious of which is at number 1 in this list. Starting it off with one of my favorite ongoings right now that's associated with the Next Level initiative. That is, of course, Lobo by Scotty Young. I absolutely have been adoring this series. On top of that, the, just way that they're handling this series is super cool. The fact that they, threw us for a loop and then bring on this new creative direction for Lobo was super cool, and I cannot wait to see what they do with this series in the future. Then in second place, it has been one of my most awaited single issues for a while, just because of the story. Not even anything associated with the comic other than the story that would be contained within it, and that is of course Battle Beast issue 9. I have been waiting forever to see this fight and interaction between Conquest and Battle Beast, and of course it's needing to continue, but it was just super exciting to see the beginning of it. And finally, the most obvious choice for the pull of the week. It's your pull of the week, it's my pull of the week, it's your mother's pull of the week. That is of course Absolute Green Arrow issue 1, which is just, oh my god, this was such a crazy, impactful, phenomenal issue. It overwhelms me with how much happened in this issue. It's like the Green Arrow is illustrated as a boogeyman, and of course the Oliver Queen in this universe was extremely disrespected. His own title doesn't even have him as a main character. But I'm nonetheless super excited to see where this goes. The fact that Black Canary is the protagonist of this series is super interesting, and I can't wait to see what they do with that. And finally, it's that time in the video where I show you guys a trade paperback right before we go to the comic shop that's associated with the week. The fact that Memorial Day was just 2 days ago is, representative of the fact that summertime started, and what's a better comic, in my opinion, to read during the summertime than Radiant Black. This is an incredible comic that blends elements of the Power Rangers with the aesthetic and panel design of Invincible. If you are super into superhero comics where it's just constantly evolving and getting better, this is the choice for you. And plus, if you like the first volume of this series, there's already so many trade paperbacks released associated with it that you could read, and there are a buttload of single issues that you could begin to collect if you so want, even though that sounds like a terrible journey to me. However, now that we've done that, I think it's about time that we head to the comic shop to pick up a bunch of these goated single issues today. Let's go. And just as any goated Wednesday, we are at the comic shop, and just as usual, the Sherpa kitchen smells awesome. So let's go get some comics. And just like that, we have the last issue of Exquisite Corpses, issue 13. I am absolutely devastated that this comic series is ending. It's been one of my favorites, and I am just so excited to give this a read. The Capes trade paperback came out. I might need to pick this up because I have not started reading Capes yet, and I've heard amazing things about it. They also have the DC Pride variant book in preparation for Pride Month, starting next week. Bunch of Junji Ito. I think I might pick up one just because I finished on my Junji Ito books that I have right now, and he's one of my favorite manga artists and writers, so I just feel like it's always a necessity to be reading one of his books. Looking through their new collection, which just has goated books for a great price, bro. Oh my god. Just found the biggest collection of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. Genuinely can't wait to get into this. And just like that, there we have it, a fat stack of comics. I got a bunch of great back issues from their new collection, which I just don't think I'd be able to find in a local comic shop in Colorado near me for that good of a price. I mean, I truly can't believe the amount of iconic issues I got. And of course, I got the 5 single issues that are new from this week. So I cannot wait to show you guys the haul. Boom! Just like that, we are back from the comic shop. Not only did we get all of the comics that we needed for this week, we got a buttload of back issues that are just truly fantastic, so I can't wait to show you guys this haul. Starting it off, however, I definitely need to show you guys all of the brand new single issues that I got this week, because they are all truly incredible. Starting it off with Image titles, of course I had to pick up Corpse Night issue 2. The first issue has already made me confidently say that this is one of my favorite miniseries that Image has produced recently. It is super incredible, and I'm honestly disappointed by the fact that this is a miniseries. Then I also had to pick up Franklin Jonas's Fireborn issue 2. This connected to the Lost Fantasy universe in a super unique way. It introduced an incredibly interesting protagonist as well, and this is a super dope comic cover. And finally, of course, I had to pick up the extremely sentimental Exquisite Corpses issue 13. I am dying to give this a read, and I am super excited to see who won this tournament. Then getting into DC, next is one of my favorite next level initiatives. That is Zatanna, of course. I am super excited for Zatanna issue 2. I want to see if this quality continues, which I'm sure it will, just because there's no way this run could do anything worse than a 4 out of 5 stars. The way that it could just constantly build upon a what it's already placed in the first issue is truly incredible. And finally, I had to pick up issue 20 of Absolute Wonder Woman. I am also just absolutely dying to give this a read because it looks super incredible. This comic cover seems like it might be spoiling the ending of this series or arc, but nonetheless, I'm super excited to give it a read. But next, I have a stack of just banger after banger, so let's get right into it. Starting it off, I had to make sure that this was not a facsimile, but it is the first battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine, the Uncanny X-Men 212 for just $10. It's not in the worst condition. I would say it's probably in a very fine condition, so I'm super excited to own this. Then I could not believe that this was just sitting there for $4. I have the Uncanny X-Men issue 167, The Death of Charles Xavier. I also got a bunch of incredible Todd McFarlane covers, such as this Captain America and Spider-Man cover for issue 323 of The Amazing Spider-Man. Then getting into the run itself by Todd McFarlane, of course I had to pick up issue 7, that super cool cover with Spider-Man being super mobile, and of course Ghost Rider, because he is one of the coolest looking comic superheroes of all time. And then I just absolutely had to pick up issue 12 of the series because it features both Spider-Man and Wolverine on the cover, which is a super cool novelty. And then finally, not a Todd McFarlane cover at all, but still a super sick cover. I have issue 17 of his run, which is The Death of Spider-Man at the Hands of Thanos. A super cool and iconic comic cover for a great price, only $3, and it's in great condition. But now it is time to read the longly awaited Exquisite Corpses issue 13. I am truly excited to see what happens in this issue. And just like that, we have finished Exquisite Corpses issue 13. Right off the dome, the first thing that I could say is that this was an extremely sentimental read. The sacrifice that he took was super noble, and I would just like to say I could not believe who the winner was, because in that interaction, I was surely expecting the more agile one to be the one that won. A lot of ones in that sentence. But nonetheless, this was an incredible issue with a super awesome ending that just wraps this entire series up incredibly well. However, that is all that I have for this new comic book day. I'm sorry if this video was a little more scarce, but tomorrow I have a great activity planned because tomorrow is Fan Expo where I am locally, so hopefully I'll get a bunch of great footage.